How to hate lunges, or what I like to refer to as nobody's favorite exercise, less. There is a multitude of reasons why you might really dislike lunges, but there's also a multitude of reasons as to why you should do lunges. With a lunge, one of the things that really causes people problems when doing so is the balance. They say, oh, I don't have good balance. And it's not necessarily that you don't have good balance. It more comes down to how you're setting yourself up for your lunge. So in this video, what I hope to do is not only teach you how to set up as efficiently as possible so you can lunge in the best way possible, but also to give you a little bit of tricks and tidbits on if you're still struggling with your lunges despite alignment, how you can improve at lunges in order to stay in balance as you do them and ultimately get stronger and stronger. And the multitude of reasons, or one of the multitude of reasons as to why lunges are so beneficial, is because they're a unilateral exercise. So ultimately, if you have any imbalances on one leg, well, you're using that one leg, and lunges are going to help to correct those imbalances in some way, shape, or form. Also, too, lunges are a great way to really load up that one leg and to build muscle really efficiently. So let's say I have a goblet squat and I have 100 pounds in my hands and I'm going down for my goblet squat. It's gonna be about 50 pounds working with one leg and 50 pounds with the other leg to use that goblet squat. Now, someone who can goblet squat with 100 pounds, if they're doing lunges, let's say back lunges, it's likely, given my experience, that I'm going to be able to load them up with about 50 pounds in either hand, and they're going to perform that lunge back and then come up. Now, with that 50 pounds in each hand, you have 100 pounds, but that one leg is doing a lot of the work. And again, this is one of the reasons why lunges are such a great exercise. And another reason is, once you build that solid alignment with your lunge and ultimately correct any imbalances, it's going to keep your knees healthy and happy for a long, long time and allow you to do things like hiking, biking, cycling, running, whatever it is that you like to do. The better you can get at lunges, the better your alignment, and the more so you can do them pain-free, the better off you're going to be doing those things for years and years to come. So some people will say, oh, I can't do lunges anymore, they're bad for my knees. It's not that they're bad for your knees, it's just we have to find a way that works for you to be able to do lunges pain-free and then build on top of that. So that's what I hope to talk about here today. The first thing with lunges is how you set up. So for the purpose of this video, we're gonna do back lunges, but this goes for any type of lunge. And what I often see in a lunge, about 4 out of every 5 clients I'll assess doing lunges, is when they step back, they have one foot out, one knee comes in, and then the hip comes wide. So you're gonna see my foot points in this direction here, my knee points in this direction over here, and then my hip is way to the outside. Ideally, in a lunge, what we're going to see is the foot is pointing nice and straight, knee is right over top of the toe, and then the hip stays in alignment. One of the tricks that I've been getting members to do is to rotate their foot internally, just about 5 degrees, and then to rotate their knee externally. So going back to that initial alignment, and what we often see, where the imbalance comes from is my foot's out to the inside, and then I'll go back for my lunge, knee comes in, and then this big toe will want to come up a little bit, and ultimately we'll have a really hard time balancing things out because we're moving in a way or lunging in a way that is incorrect. So when setting up, what I want you to do is I'm going to show on my left foot here, I'm going to point my toe just about 5 degrees inward. Not 15, maybe 10, but ideally 5, and not perfectly straight. And with that 5 degrees inward, what that's going to do is it's just going to help shift my alignment a little bit. Now my knee's going to want to point this way. I'm actually going to rotate it out so my knee is straight here. And it may seem a little bit awkward at first, but I'm telling you, I've seen this time and time again. It's going to work. And then with that, the other thing too you want to focus on is just a nice little arch in your foot. Keep that big toe down. Now from here, I got 5 degrees, I got my knee out, and then I also too want to pretend like something wants to push my knee in, and I'm going to push my knee outward. Your knee will only go so far. It doesn't have to go too far, but just a little push that way is going to help to activate my glutes. So from here, I got good alignment through my foot. My knee is pointing in that right direction, and then I'm gonna fire up my hip stabilizers by pushing my knee out, and then from here we step back, and this is ultimately what I'm hoping to see. Toes, knees, hips all stay aligned. We drive up, that's 1. And then as I'm lowering down, not only am I stepping back, but when I'm doing lunges, and when I get clients to do lunges, just want that lateral push out at the knee a little bit. Step back, drive up. Step back, drive up. Now, as I mentioned before, the other thing that we often see, regardless of this alignment, is where the big toe wants to come up. And this is usually a sign of a little bit of weakness through VMO. And VMO is what I like to call the protector of the knee. And it's really helped to activate our VMO by pushing through our big toe. So we got our arch, big toe down, and then from here, I'm gonna step and drive. And what you'll likely notice is if you're someone who struggles with balance issues in your lunge, you do these couple things, 5 degrees on the inside, drive that knee out, keep that big toe down, and just step back nice and fluidly, you're gonna see an improvement in balance. Maybe not in the first set, but do it over time and over the course of weeks. Not only are you gonna see improvement, but I've also done this with clients where they're experiencing knee pain when they lunge. We make these little shifts and adjustment, and it's like, wow, all of a sudden, I barely feel that, or I don't feel that at all, which is great. Now, if you make these adjustments and you find them tricky, totally normal. What you wanna do is, and there's no shame to this, and I often recommend clients, you wanna set up properly, and then from here, just give yourself a little bit of support. So it could be a little stool, a chair, whatever it might be, the top of a chair, top of a couch, could be up against the wall. But as you step back, really focus on stepping back, having that good alignment, and coming up. Stepping back, good alignment, and coming up. And ultimately, just that little added assistance from the chair or whatever it might be will help to take the balance out or reduce the amount of balance required to perform your lunges. You can perform it correctly, and then you can focus on strength, which is really, really great. And then as those start to feel easy or are getting better, you can either do one of two things. You can take the chair out, the stool, the assistance, whatever it might be, or you can load up on the other side with your lunge. And then from here, you step back, drive up, step back, drive up. And again, with that, your lunge is going to be a combination of your balance with your strength. You want to get the balance down first, and then from there start to build up your strength with your lunges. So oftentimes, once I help clients to work on their alignment and find that correct, proper alignment, make sure their knees are feeling good and happy, we'll focus on the balance piece for a little bit. And then I'll tell them, once you can do about 10 back lunges, you feel good, you feel strong, your big toe's not coming up anymore, they're pain-free, you don't have any wiggling or wobbling through the knee, that's when you can start to load it. But what I would recommend is the step of loading that lunge will happen with bringing that assistance back in. So I go from doing 10 good body weight lunges. Okay, now I'm gonna bring this back in. From here, I'm gonna hold that weight, I'm gonna step, I'm gonna drive up. Once I can do 10 of those really well, the weight feels easy, I have no balance issues, then you can start to do weights on both sides, you can start to do goblet, whatever it might be. But ultimately, to wrap this whole thing up, it boils down to, okay, how are we setting up? How are our alignments? Like I said, I've had tons and tons of success with different clients. That 5 degrees inward, keep that big toe down, push that knee out, really help to activate your knee and your hip stabilizers. And then from there, once you get that alignment proper, you build on the balance. Once you get that balance good with body weight lunges, then you start to build up with your dumbbells. Now, I did say in the title, how to hate lunges less. You might still hate lunges, but that is okay. So long as you're doing them properly and correctly, and hopefully these little tips and tricks and tidbits help you to hate lunges a little bit less.